I'm Julieta Martinez. I'm 17 years old, and I'm the foundress of a platform that's called Tremendas. How could I explain what Tremendas is in English? I feel like Tremendas is a platform that searches for young, empowered girls, empowered women that search to use their talents, their skills, their ability, their abilities to and connect them to social causes. Like talents in every way, like talents in arts, in math, in science. It's like want to ask themselves the question of how can I use that like the thing that motivates me, that makes me who I am, and I can connect it to make a change, like a social impact in my community, like in my school or in my city, in my country, in my world. It's like wanting to search for a group of young women that knows that we have to make like connections. We have to make like this feeling that we are together, we are strong. The idea to empower another young women that sometimes like in the situation in Chile, it's probably this. I don't know if it's the same, but I'm pretty sure about that. It's a common topic that women sometimes get like don't have the spaces, don't have the opportunity to talk and express ourselves. They don't have like the voice they would like to have. They don't have the vote they would like to have. And sometimes like things like, hey, you can study robotics. How can you think of something like that? Oh, that's too hard for you. You should stay at home. It's like the need to create a space where you can find another girls are fighting for social causes that can't be the same as you, like search for activism in different topics, fight for education, fight for gender equality, fight for against the climate crisis we're living like right now. It's kind of like that.
Okay, so what moment, like, does a specific moment come to mind that sparked your passion for change making and for creating these spaces for women?
Yes, actually, I have a sickness. I don't know if you call sickness this kind of, but I have diabetes type 1, and I use this thing. I don't know if you know what it is, but I think in English it's called the pump. The thing is that some years ago, like I have diabetes since I'm 3, so I don't have memories, like not having like the need to like get insulin and all that stuff. The thing that this pump arrived in Chile some years ago. Like the cost of the past was extremely high. Like I had the privilege that my parents could afford that and give me like the pump to have a better quality of life, to have better nights, as they say. But I feel terribly wrong. Like I feel angry, I feel sad, I feel like they needed to do something. But because it was like, yeah, I can have the pump, but what happened with all the kids that have diabetes in Chile? Like the great majority that don't have the possibility. And I feel kind of like guilty about it, because I was feeling like I'm making criticism, but I was doing nothing to change that, to fix that. In that moment, I was 12. So I started searching in the internet about how the system of like the healthy system in our country works. There's laws that protects kids that don't have the possibility to afford a pump. How can they have access to it? Like that kind of things that was getting on my mind. But it was like the same feeling, like, yeah, I'm searching about it, I'm questioning about it, I want to have more information, but I'm not doing nothing to change that. And I felt like I was living in a bubble. So I asked my mom, like, what can I do to change this, because this is how I'm feeling. And she told me that I should get out to the street and scream as loud as I can. So I went to a manifestation in in front of La Moneda, that it's a place of where the president is, like the Congress. And I start with like a big group of people. I felt for the first moment in my life that I was not alone, and I was fighting for something that it was not for me, it was for others. And that felt pretty great. Like I felt like I was really doing something, like a real change. So I start searching for new possibilities. I start going to talks. It's like festivals of like innovation festivals, to search for people that was like change makers, like that they were putting all their effort, all their time to help communities that they identify problematics, and in that problem like that problem they search solution. They just they just don't stay in the oh, that's so sad, and have pity. They want to go farther. And I find like a structure of what I can do, like based on, I was 14 years old in that moment, and I want to like focus in what are my priorities. And I find three that find like the most important to me. Here in Chile, it's a competition all the time. Like, of course, I'm working with you as a team, but always I'm thinking like, what do I have more than you, or how can I like be stronger, or have more? Like, I lost the concept of collaboration, because a lot of people use that word, like, yeah, we're collaborating, we're searching for ways to improve ourselves, but it's at the end of the day, it's just a word that everyone can use. So how can we like search a real meaning for it, then make collaboration against the competition, and search for ways to make connect youth that's searching for social impact, but we don't want them to work alone. And that's happened a lot. Like you're in school, you want to start something that it's about like connected with social causes, but actually you have this question like, how can I start? I should like stop. I should wait to get out of school, get to college, get a work, get because social innovation doesn't pay. It's that's the typical quote that you normally you hear from adults. So that's it. Like the need to make collaborations like that with youth and be stronger together. The other goal, it was about like climate activism, because it's something that we in Tremendas we work a lot, thinking that the climate crisis we're living right now, like for more than 17 years, science has told us that we are in a problem. We have to search for options. We can depend of, I don't know how you say in English, like fuels.
Yeah,
fossil fuels. That's it. It's pretty hurtful. Like it's pretty difficult to see our leaders of today that are doing nothing to change about it. Even in this crisis, when we know that we have to change, there's a lot of things. The economy has to change, the leadership has to change, but we are like in the same spot, waiting to raise our voice and get out. We can go out of streets, but even if we're trapped in our houses, we still have a voice, and we still have a vote. Yeah, that's like the second goal. And the third goal, and most important for us, it's everything that's about gender equality. And that's what I was telling you before. Like in school, in history, teachers talks about like the veterans of the war, the big men that save us, that change our country and make us like realize what are we living as. Like they create the world we're living now. But where are our women's?
Yeah.
That makes like a big changes in history. Even today, that there's a lot of sciences and there's a lot of art, like artists and amazing women that are changing our society, but still they don't have the space or like the space to be recognized by the people. So that's actually what the goals that make me realize that I wanted to make something like a space we could work about different topics, different options. We wanted to have like a focus in youth, like how they work, but also wanted to work with young girls that are normally in school or just getting into college, to feel the space that they can create something, they can create projects and ideas and like make something important in, and there's no barriers like for your gender, your culture, your religion, your age. Here's a place that you can feel good about it. And when you find another girls that are kind of lost, you like have the strong, like the feeling to not feel ashamed to say, if I could do it with this amazing woman right here, you can do it as well.
Okay, so what was the first step in your change making journey to get everything started?
I understand for my first time like things that don't just get to you, you have to search for it. So in that moment I was like 15, I think, like when I was like actually starting Tremendas, like a real space. So I asked for my first contact, and that was my mom. My mom was a really big inspiration in my life, and it's still it is still my biggest inspiration. And I asked to her that like, how can I start? Like, I know I have the information, I know what I want to do. I'm pretty sure that I can do it if I try, if I like be organized, even if I have to understand that I have a bigger routine, like I have to go to school, I have to study, I have to do tests, but also I want to have this space that makes me feel like really great, like this is who I want to be. First of all, I start to be organized about it. Like I understand that if I want to be a change maker, I just don't have to, I have to be really organized, understand my times, and see that I can't work alone. So I started searching for allies, people like young women that were working about, like they didn't know that they were change makers, but they knew that they want to like search for a change. So I start, as I told you before, I start going to these like spaces, like social innovation spaces, where you normally find adults, but also there were some places where young people like they have like a space to make discussions, a place to talk, and like kind of learn more about what's happening in our society and what can we do to like fix it, and not just social things. It was more like politics, and how can we start in the world of activism, start knowing other like women, other girls that get there to talk about projects they have in their mind, like they wanted to make applications to stop some types of inequalities like you can find in Chile, or they wanted to have projects they wanted to work with, like projects of law they wanted to work about. But there was also the feeling that we can do it right now. Like, yes, I have my project, yes, I have my idea, but anyways, I can do it right now. So I started to hear, like, I was kind of like a stalker. I don't want to lie to you. And of course, there was a lot of no's in a way. Like, I can't expect that everyone gonna have their arms open. But also there was a lot of yes, and a lot of that's amazing, I want to work with you, I love the idea. And with the pass of time, even it was complicated because spaces normally, it was pretty hard to find spaces because normally people look at us like, oh, that's so sweet that you want to do that. It was kind of frustrating, but we fight for it. We start making like a community. We start talking with our friends, our family, our like all our like connections we had, and start like spreading word. Like there's a new space you can work your ideas, your projects. It's a place for young girls, it's a place for young women, and you will feel you will feel great here. You will feel the opportunity to make a real change and you will not be alone. You will be with this amazing community. And with that said, like with the pass of time, we start to get recognized. People start knowing what Tremendas is, and with a lot of work, a lot of organization, and a lot of laughs and jokes around, because I really feel Tremendas as my second family right now, not just like teammates. We get to create what we have now.
How are you empowering other young change makers?
First of all, it's like, how can we move up, like in Tremendas? We have like 3 steps. First is identify the problem that we want to like search for solutions for too many things, but it's kind of hard for us if it feels really far away. Like sometimes it happens that you want to create ideas, you want to create projects, but it's like, I want to fight against hunger, but it feels so far away. Like how me as just an individual person can fight against hunger. So we try to make young people realize that they are never alone. There's always organizations, there are always foundations that are working to make a better world, and they have these spaces and have like this group of action that normally you can find like how in which of them you are more connected to. Second of all, we try to make them identify what are like their priorities. It's kind of like something that happened to me. Like we try to catch that feeling of being really far away. Ask them to ask themselves, like in your community, in your everyday life, what are problems that you feel so like kind of more closer to you? Like, oh, in my school, I feel like there's a lot of inequality between girls and women and girls and boys, or I feel like in my school there's no conscious about what's happening with the climate crisis, and nobody knows about it, and I would love to have better education about this is like what's happening right now. That kind of things, like little things that you could identify in your routine. And with that information, that like they needed to do something, we start creating projects. Like we start like to give them the tools. We start to make like at least with another organizations like Women UN Chile, or different like organizations that work in our country to make like these spaces. Of course, normally in school they don't give us this much information about social causes. Also in Chile, there's a lot of inequality. We actually it's more than just living a crisis. Like we're living for the coronavirus. We live in a social crisis. There's a lot of people that are asking for a better quality of life. There are a lot of people that wants to make the government understand that we are not okay. That this how are we living right now? It's not okay. We are fighting for a lot of things: a better access to education, a better access to health, a better access to have a better life itself. We know that every crisis is kind of connected. The social crisis is connected with the climate crisis and with the health crisis. It's like a big bubble of problems that we like trying to search solution for them. So I kind of get out of topic, but I feel like it's pretty important to talk about like the context we live in as a country.
Lastly, do you have any advice that you would give other young people?
First of all, I would tell all young people that they are never alone. Even if I tell this over and over again, sometimes we, as me as a young person, when I was 12, I didn't find the place to create. Even if I have even if I have my mom like always telling me that I could create things, I could move along and make changes, I felt really alone. Also, I was suffering from kind of like bullying in school, so I was like, of course I want to make changes, but how can I do it if I just have me? So please erase that idea, it's not true. There's always somebody that's fighting for the same thing. You want to make changes, if you want to be weird or get out of the normally, like the normal thing that society tell us to do, it's amazing. It's not just okay, it's amazing for you to want to be different about it. And also, just don't be different alone. Search for other people, and also people that are kind of like questioning about it. They are not sure about it. Like show them that this kind of changes are the real changes that we need as a community, we need as a world. Yes, young people are the future of our society, because yes, we are the future, but we are also the present. We have to be alert. We have to question, like make this question in our minds about how are like this society going on, and what can I do as a member of the civil, like of the society, to make changes about it. Because even if I'm not an adult, even if I don't have the experience, even if I don't work in the government, I need to do something. Don't just stay in your Twitter making tweets about how much you dislike how things are going. Get out of your house. Not now, but get out of your comfort zone and search for ways to make changes. And of course, don't never make it alone. I know I'm super sure that there's always somebody that's fighting with you. And also, we are the generation of social media. Like we born with a cell phone in our hands, and that's pretty amazing. We have the opportunity with just one click to get to every part of the world. And there's always young people that are working and fighting for not to destroy the system, but like destroy to reconstruct a better society.